Hi, I'm Mr. B. What's that? I don't look like myself? Well, that's all thanks to the magic of computer science. Today I'm transforming into Scratch the Cat to teach you a little bit about Scratch. Scratch is a program created at MIT. That's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the amazing universities where big brains like yours go to learn life-changing skills that can change the world. But you'll have time to think about MIT when you're a little older. Today, let's focus on Scratch. Scratch was created as a program for kids to begin their computer science adventure. You could be a total pro or a beginner. Everyone is welcome to use Scratch. With Scratch, you will start to learn the fundamentals. That's the basic steps for everything the CS world has to offer. Why is that important? Well, think of it this way. If you never did any physical activities, would your body get strong? Probably not. In fact, it would probably get weaker. It's important to treat your body right and work out. CS works out a different part of your body, a different part of your brain than writing, reading, or even math. Learning how to navigate the CS world will not only prepare you for future careers, but it will change how you solve any problem in your everyday life. I'm going to go through these slides with you before we start playing around in Scratch. So these are the things we're going to cover. What is CS for All? What is Scratch? Why is this important? And using Scratch. CS for All is a program dedicated to getting kids engaged with computer science in elementary, middle, and high school. But what is Scratch? A website that allows students to create interactive stories, games, and animations. You can share your creations with others on the online community. Scratch helps people learn, think creatively, and reason out problems, and work with others. But why is it important? Computer science is its own subject and deserves recognition. CS works out different parts of your brain and teaches you skills that you can't learn elsewhere. Kids that work on their CS skills can work on their problem solving and teamwork skills on a whole other level. Learn how to problem solve with algorithms, and even the hardest problems become workable. There are two videos attached here. This one is about a boy who solves a Rubik's Cube in under 4 seconds. Let's take a look. So he's taking a look, he's analyzing the problem. And here we go. Solved. You can check out the rest of the video. And then this one is a 3-year-old who solves a Rubik's Cube in under a minute. I'm going to go ahead and start from here. Look at her go. And you can see that it's already starting to work itself out. And there she goes. That's so impressive. She's 3 years old. Oop. And right here, you can find step-by-step instructions on how to follow along with the video that I'm going to do on Scratch. So if you want to learn how to sign in, you can click here, and it should sign you in right away and lead you straight into your first project. If you want to learn how to do steps 2 through 7, you can click here. I'll just click 1 as an example. Add letters and as sprites. So if I click this, I have a step-by-step tutorial on how to do that in Scratch. But we will be doing it together when we start. All right, welcome to Scratch. When you log in and create an account, you should see a window that looks like this. There are a few tabs at the top that are very useful. If you want to explore other people's projects, you can click Explore, and you can go through these videos and check out all the amazing work that students create. If you want ideas on what to create, you can go up here to Ideas, And there are a bunch of projects that you can start just by going through these slides. You can animate a name, which is what we're going to do today. You can make music. You can create a story. You can create a game. Look these over in your own time. So if I go back and click Scratch, I'm back to the main menu. What I want to do today is go to Ideas, choose a tutorial, and then animate a name. All right, so let's start a project together. I'm going to go ahead and go to the top here, and I'm going to rename my project Name George. So I'm going to go ahead now and go down here to my sprite, and I'm going to get rid of my kitty cat. And so down here, if you see choose a sprite, you can click this button, and you can go to letters, and then you can pick letters that show your name, that spell your name. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this G, and then I'm going to continue doing that over and over again until I get all the letters that I want. And if you notice, if I highlight, you can actually upload your own pictures when you become a little more professional. All right, so now I've got my letters. But look at this background. It's so boring. I'm going to go down here next to my sprite, and I'm going to click choose a backdrop. And again, same thing. You can choose a backdrop. You can paint your own backdrop. And I'm just going to go ahead and choose a backdrop for now. And I'm going to pick, what should I pick? I'm going to go underwater. Okay, make sure you move your letters wherever you want them. I'm going to line them up. Okay, so now I'm going to start by clicking my G. Remember, hitting the green flag up top is how you start your projects. So if I press my go button, my flag button right here, nothing happens because I haven't told my letters to do anything. There's a bunch of tutorials built in right here if you need them, but I'm just going to shrink it away for now so I have more access to my workspace. And again, I'm just going to click G to make sure I'm working with G. And so I'm going to go over to the yellow tab and bring in my when flag button is clicked. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to looks and click set color. Oh, nope, not change color, set color. I'm going to click set color and I'm going to pick a number. I'm going to go to 50. Notice how my G turned green when I hit the flag color. If I put different values inside this space, it's going to change my color. So 50 was green, 100 was blue, and so if I go to 99, I suspect it's going to be very similar to blue. That's because we're moving along a color wheel as we pick a number. So if I go to 150, I'm going to end up with a completely different number. But 140 might be really similar to that color. They're in the same family. Now, you can go from 0 and up, but you can actually go backwards into negative numbers. Let's try negative 30. That brought us into red. Very cool. So when I hit the green button, it's going to turn my G red. Now I want to stop and I want to reset everything. Here we go. So my G will turn red when I hit the green button. Fantastic. Let's move over to E. I'm going to go over to my yellow again, and I'm going to click when green button is placed. I want my E to spin. So check it out. I'm going to go over to my motion button, and I'm going to click turn. And so I want it to turn 15 degrees. Remember that a circle has 360 degrees, so every time I spin 15, it's going to spin in a circle until I go all the way around. But it's only going to do this one time. It's only going to turn 15 degrees one time. I want it to go on forever. Is there a way to repeat this? Definitely. I can go over here to my turn 15 degrees, and I can keep on adding them until I get the amount of turning I want. But if I want it to turn forever, I'll be putting code in forever. I don't want that. Well, here's a shortcut. We actually only need one of these turns. And if we go over to controls, you'll notice these repeat buttons. This is repeat 10 times. This is repeat forever. I'm going to take my repeat forever code. And so I know I want this code right here to repeat forever. And I want it to happen when I click my flag button. Give it a shot and set up your code like this. Now, when you press your green button, it will turn 15 degrees, but it'll do it forever. Let's take a look at the O. I want the O to do what the E does. Exactly the same thing that the E does. I want it to spin forever, kind of like a wheel. Well, I could go here and drag in all that code again, but instead, I'm actually going to go to my E, and I'm going to drag this code over to my O. And now, if I go to my O, I notice that I copied my code from E to O, so I don't have to do all that work again. If I press the green button, I'll notice that they both spin. Let's go to my R. For my R, I want to play with sounds. I'm going to go over to my yellow button, and I'm going to click when sprite is clicked. And then I'm going to go to sound, and I'm going to click play meow sound. I don't want it to play meow sound until done. I just want it to play meow sound. So if I hit run, I can now click my R, and it will play a meow sound. Notice how if I drop down on the meow, there's a record button. If I go in there, I can record my own sounds. Meow. Then I can crop out any of the silence and listen to it again. Meow. Save it when I like it. I can make it faster, louder, slower, lower. Turn it into robot. Meow. Meow. But if I don't like that, I can go ahead and undo. Meow. I hit the undo button up here. So now I want to make it faster.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
There we go. I like that sound. So I'm going to change the name up here to Mr. B Meow. And now if I go back to my code right here up top and drop down, I'll find that Mr. B Meow is now a clickable sound. So when I run my code, looks like it's still running, I can press my R.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
And I have Mr. B's meow noise. How to do is move these guys around the screen. Now we're going to learn how to move icons around. So I'm up to my G, and I'm going to go to my Events tab, and I'm going to grab the when space key pressed. So I'm actually going to change that to up arrow, and I'm going to add 4 of these because I want to use my up, down, left, and right arrow keys on my keyboard. So I'm going to set these codes to do stuff when I press up, when I press arrow down, when I press arrow left, and when I press arrow right. Now I'm going to go to motion. And just like in Minecraft, when you're trying to find your friend and you press F3 and you look at the X and the Y coordinates, we're going to be changing the X and the Y coordinates of these characters in order to move around and use the arrow keys. So let's take a look. Set X, change X. Yes, we want change X. So when we are moving left and right, we are on the X-axis. We're on the ground. So for left, I'm actually going to put, so for change X by 10, I'm actually going to put it on the right arrow. because that's the positive side of the number line. If you think about it, you go from 1 to 2 to 3, the numbers are positive. When you go left from 2 to 1 to 0, what's left of 0 is a -1 because negative is on the left. I'm actually going to take that change X slide again, but this time I'm going to put negative because negative is on the left and positive is on the right. And I'm going to do the same thing for my up and down, but now we're not dealing with the x-axis, we're dealing with the y-axis. So I'm going to grab this change y by 10. And if you're confused, don't worry, you're going to learn this definitely by 5th grade. The coordinate plane, it's all about x going left and right and y going up and down. So when we're going up, we want to go change y by 10. And if we want to go down, we want to go change y by -10. Because when we're going down, we're going underground, we're going negative, right? We're going underneath. So now my program is all set. If I hit start, I can push my arrow keys and my G will move wherever I click. So I'm clicking right, 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 down, down, down. Oh, that was left, left, left. Right, right, right. Down, 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 up, 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 left, left, left. And you can see that they're glowing as I'm pressing them. So I'm going to use my arrow keys to actually move my G down here with my down and left keys. Great job, guys. Last letter. What should we do with this letter? I'm going to go unscripted for this one and come up with something on the fly. Let's see. I'm going to start with my yellow. When this sprite is clicked, say hello. When this sprite is clicked, say, thanks for watching. And now he's saying, thanks for watching. Awesome. So let me start again. Go. My red one was my G, set color to -30. My E is set to spin forever. My O is set to spin forever. My R is set to meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
When I click. My G is set to my 4 arrow keys so that when I click them on my keyboard, I can go up, 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 down, 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 right, 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 left, 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 down, down, down. And so I can bring him wherever I want to put him. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and move him down, 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 left, 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 till he sits next to this rock. That's where I want my G to sit. And then my E, when I click him, thanks for watching. All right, guys, hope you had fun. Check me out live at one of the sessions this week. The last thing we want to do is share your work on Flipgrid. We want to share all of our amazing works with our PS26 family. So click here to open up a Flipgrid. Tell us what your project does in the video, and maybe even show us if you know how to do that. Link it to the Flipgrid, that way we can click it and check it out ourselves. So guys, when you are in your Scratch, what you want to do is go up here to the big orange button, and you want to hit share. And so once you hit share, you're going to go down here to copy link, and then copy link again. And this is the link that you're actually going to attach to your Flipgrid.